Yes. You know, I walked into the library and I could see that there was a room available, and I got myself a few different books, and probably as I spend the next 2 hours, right? But I thought I'd look at this. It's known as Special Session, the 2013 Special Session, chapters 1 to 2. The laws of the state of Washington. Oh, how is the state legislature? You know, I just opened it up, and while looking at page 272, I just wanted to remember the page. Yes. Seems that the Washington laws, chapter 48, section 17. Yes. Fish and Wildlife Enforcement reward account is created in the custody of the state treasurer. Ooch. You know this reward account that they have for Fish and Wildlife Enforcement? Yes. Oh, receipts from fish and shellfish overages as a result of a department enforcement action. Yes. Fees for hunter education deferral applications. Fees for master hunter applications and master hunter certification renewals. All receipts from criminal wildlife penalty assessments under RCW 77.15.370. All receipts of court-ordered restitution or donations associated with any fish, shellfish, or wildlife enforcement action, and proceeds from forfeitures and evidence pursuant to RCW 77.15.070. The department may accept money or personal property from persons under conditions requiring the property or money to be used consistent with the intent of expenditures from the Fish and Wildlife Enforcement Reward Account. You know, as an American citizen, it's not just the 50% that I would get from those big lawsuits of those in prison. Because there was some thought, well, there's going to be a few others that'll have some smaller lawsuits. Are we going to take them? And the thought was I just refer them off to some other legal firm. I don't need to get paid from all the lawsuits, just the big ones, 2 or 3 a month, where I might get 1 to 10 million for each of them. Pooh. Now these guys that I told you about that might be spending some time in Mexico, all they do is read it, and if they understand it, the jury will probably understand it. But there are these rewards that you get for helping law. Now, not that I wouldn't take the reward for exposing any and all crime of any of those lawsuits. Now, I'm focused on making as much money as possible with the least amount of employees. Yes. But the thought of exposing the corruption, the felonies, the civil rights violations, I myself would make a claim of any reward of any police or sheriff's department that intentionally interfered with the right of citizens. Now, there could be a few of those in prison that remember their public defender didn't really give them effective counsel. They said, well, just plead guilty and you'll be out in a month. Just don't do it again. Even though you didn't do it, just plead guilty. And lo and behold, a few years later, they got picked up for something else. And since they had pled guilty, they ended up in prison for 2 to 5 years for stealing a hairbrush at the Walmart. Yeah. Now, there's always the question of how do I get paid? Pooch. I can hand off every one of the potential clients as a lawsuit because it's a business. I provide the lawsuit financing out of my personal pocket. But for every instance that I expose corruption, I get the reward. Another law firm gets the lawsuit. I just send them back their packet of information and say, well, you should contact XYZ law firm because your lawsuit's not big enough for us, but it's not that we don't want you to do it. But in the event that they represent you, we want the reward, and this is the amount of money we get right now for just referring them to a law firm where I get the reward, the law firm gets the business, the inmate gets out. So now I'm just looking for 20 to 30 million dollars a month. And then I'm looking for the rewards of all of them I get for two guys lounging in a five-star pool in Mexico with a large number of very attractive Hispanic women that are concerned about why they're reading this criminal history of an inmate in prison. Well, why don't you get me every reward and every law? Just go through all the laws of this state and every state of this great nation. I want to know of all of this money that they set aside for wildlife and. Oh, are you interfering with my impending lawsuits?